Hi everyone, this is Nancy. Today is February 14th, 2021. I wish you all a peaceful and quiet Valentine's Day. As you know, the Buddha renounced his royal family and left his wife, his son, his throne, his wealth and fame behind, and walked onto his long and hard journey of enlightenment. He found the way, and then he returned to preach Dharma to the people. However, more than one time I heard people saying, "Oh yes, but he abandoned his wife and his son." To these people, though the Buddha found the light and lightened the hearts of countless sentient beings, his leaving his wife and son behind was still an unforgettable and petty thing. Our February subject is complying with the operation of the heaven and the earth, or in another word, following the way. Different people may have different understanding of the way, which may depend on their level of awareness, the opposite of ignorance. Today, let's talk about why the Buddha renounced his royal family and the Buddhas following the way. The Buddha's renunciation was just a result. There were many causes that led to his renunciation. Prince Siddhartha grew up in the palace, not short of any material things or fun things to do. Especially, his father, the king, knew the prophecy that Prince one day might abandon his throne and become a great sage. The king did not want the prince to live, so he did all his best to keep the prince happy. Though the king tried all the means to cover the reality of life and fill the prince's life with beautiful women and things, reality still revealed itself before the prince from every possible corner. Prince saw the hardships and suffering of the lowly people. He saw the inequality of the society. He saw the officials and Brahmins scheming for power. All of this firmly imprinted in his mind. Especially on the 3 trips that his father arranged for him, Prince Siddhartha saw aging, he saw ailment and death. One day, the prince asked his father to allow him to visit the forest. The king agreed and ordered all the city streets to be swept clean. He also banned the elderly, the diseased, the poor, and the starving from showing up in the streets, and removed any corpses from sight. He didn't want the prince to see any suffering of the world. However, on his first trip, outside of the city walls, Prince Siddhartha spotted a frail elderly person. He was startled and confused. Through conversation with his driver Chandaka, he knew that no one in this world could avoid aging. When one got old, one's skin color changed, memory faded, worries grew, and happiness waned. Every part of the body would not function as well as in youth. The prince was saddened or frightened and returned to the palace. His mind was occupied with thoughts of aging, and he felt lonely, empty, and frustrated. The palace to him became a tomb. When the king saw his son was depressed, he was concerned and encouraged the prince to get some fresh air outside. So he arranged the second trip, on which the prince saw a person in illness. A man lay on the side of the street, his stomach bloated despite his emaciated body. His breathing was difficult. His limbs were weak, and he was moaning. The prince was full of sympathy. He asked Chandaka why the man was like that, and Chandaka answered the prince, "That man is sick. In the body, if organs do not work in harmony, pain and illness will manifest. And Prince, as long as one has a body, one will grow sick. The prince was startled and said, "Life truly is filled with pain. How can I live each day in peace?" Beings in this world are mired in ignorance and darkness. They do not know that illness may overtake them at any moment. Instead, they are chasing blindly after the insubstantial five desires. Again, Prince ordered to return to the palace. Thinking about aging and sickness, the prince felt helpless. The king questioned Chandaka and other servants about what happened. The king was deeply shaken and afraid. He arranged more beautiful women and beautiful music for the prince. Personally, he left the palace and found a flourishing grove. He arranged the third trip. Again, he ordered all the streets to be thoroughly cleaned and remove any sign of suffering. However, on the road, the driver was lost, and this time they met a coffin with a corpse in it. The prince sighed deeply. People of this world are deeply misguided. With death so close, how can we relax? We are not trees or stones. How can we live unaware of the impermanence of things, passing our life in leisure and games? Death is certain. How can I just sit and watch as life quietly slips by? Ever since then, the prince spent his days agonizing aging, illness, and death, ignoring everything around him. He was like a wounded lion or a caged elephant. No matter what he was doing, he saw aging, sickness, and death just by the door. Until one day, when the conditions and causes were ripe, he fled to look for liberation. To put this from another perspective, the journey of enlightenment was the prince's unavoidable mission. It's the heaven's will and his past vow. The prince had to do what he needed to do. That's his inner driving force. He was never alone. He was not alone before the birth. He was not alone any moment during his whole life, and he was not alone after Nirvana. He came to show the way. He came to awaken sentient beings, and he came to show the light. His compassion extended to all sentient beings, so he couldn't just be the husband of his wife or the father of his son. He belonged to all sentient beings. Renouncing the royal family was following the way, and one day you may need to do the same, at least in one life of the future, when it's your time. Amitabha, this is today's Dharma sharing. Following the way may have different meanings for different sentient beings. What is your way in this life? Consider subscribing to the channel for weekly Dharma talks, for meditation sessions, sutras, and mantras. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.